It's time for another collaborative podcast that no one asked for. From the creators of Cases of Continuity, No New Friends, and Big Beautiful Dis, get ready for Creators United. And now, give it up for your hosts, Ryan, Dane, and Scott.
Hey, howdy, hey, welcome to Creators United, the show where we dive into the world of creators past, present, and future. My name is Mags. I'm going to be your host for this episode. Once again, we're returning after a long hiatus, but we're excited to be back. I am, of course, joined by Mr. Longhair Dane. How you doing, Dane?
Hey. This show is a lot to produce, man. That's why.
This is true. It's very expensive. It's like the Acolyte. And I, of course, joined by Mr. No Hair himself, Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Howdy, hey.
And as a reminder, you can listen to more of me on Into the Disneyverse. That is DIZNEYVERSE. You can hear more from Dane and see more from Dane on YouTube at Big Beautiful Diz. You can hear more from Scott on all podcasting platforms, Parents Night Out. Excited to have all three of us back here. Finally, the Holy Trinity returns, as was foretold in our very first episode, as we're coming up on our second anniversary here.
Is it really our second anniversary?
It's close, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think in August.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to be the only podcast that's celebrating a second-year anniversary with less than 5 episodes.
Yeah.
I think we're about 25-ish now.
Have we surpassed?
I mean, I know I missed a
We've
couple.
only been on like 10.
Okay, that's fair. That sounds more realistic.
How many episodes did Diz Journey do? Have we surpassed that yet?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I don't know. Because
that was like every week for a good 3 months.
That was a good amount of time.
So
yes, but there's only like 25 weeks in the summer.
That's true.
Maybe. I mean, pretty soon we'll be surpassing Cases of Continuity. We'll only need like 4 more episodes for that. So.
It takes listen, you kept it going a long time. It takes a lot of
longer
work.
than I should have.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It takes a lot of work to put on a podcast, especially a solo show where you're doing all of that research and all of that synopsis. I mean, that is a ton of work.
Yeah, it got to the point too where Cases of Continuity was just kind of like a stepping stone podcast, almost, if you will, where it helped me get the feel of what does it mean for an episode, what does it mean to record, what does it mean to edit, put out an episode, all those things, and then it helped to really prepare me for Into the Disneyverse now, which I should say I enjoy recording a lot more than I enjoyed recording Cases of Continuity. It's more fun doing it with other people.
Oh, yeah. It's always more fun doing it with other people than just by yourself.
Oh, podcasting with other people, too.
Stuff. Yes. We were going for the same joke. Remy's in chat. Remy, how many episodes of Diz Journey
Remy says not even close. I don't
know what that
Remy's
means. That could go either way.
I don't mean Remy's Roundtable, Rem. I mean like purely Diz Journey. Because
we know there's over 100,000 episodes of Remy's Roundtable with a bonus episode every week. If it's a bonus episode every week, you might as well just call it the second episode of the week.
Because that's
I was just on a bonus.
Dude, my
Outlook
desperately wants me to send email or something. It keeps popping up on my screen. You can see it on the stream. I didn't even open Outlook, man. So Diz Journey started in like late March, I think, and ran until like September. So let me do the math real quick here. Bro, Diz Journey had 35 episodes. You're not even close, Remy. It had 24. We did it every Tuesday. How we didn't do it twice a week. How did it have 35?
That's Remy math. Just go with it.
How did you get 10 more episodes than I did? It went from like March to September. Am I just like not remembering 2021?
Maybe.
Yeah,
2020 and 2021 were a blur.
That is true. We need to bring back Diz Journey. That was a fun show.
Now, speaking of bringing things back, I know, Dane, you wanted to bring back an episode idea tonight that you'd had a while back?
Yeah. So I opened up the docket, right? We have a loose, we keep loose ideas of what we want to do on this show. Not really. And on the docket for the second segment tonight, it says properties. I have no clue what that means. So I'm trying to figure out what. Here, I'll show you. I'll show everybody on this stream, and on YouTube. So it says properties. I have no clue. Me and Mags have no idea what this is. I have no idea what this idea is.
Sounds
So
like never mind.
it could be a few things. It could be like a tier list of Monopoly properties. I was thinking maybe it's like, you know, maybe like which Monopoly property do we think is best, like buying the boardwalk or something. And by the way, I was the one that wrote this. I put this in the Google Doc, so I have
To
no
be fair, it's also
like
been about a year and a half since we last recorded.
that is true, but usually I'm pretty good at like remembering the ideas and writing them down in an according way. I have no recollection of this or writing this at all. To be fair, I don't remember the last episode very well either.
Well, the last episode I think was when we interviewed Kevin Broussard.
No.
Was it?
Oh, you guys did one since
There were
then?
like 3 or 4 since then.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember the last topic we did. Could be theme park properties. That's what I was thinking. Like,
Oh, that's right. We had Alex on.
could it have been something to do with theme park properties? I mean, I don't know what the catch there would be though. Like best property that Disney bought. I don't.
Well, hear me out. All
best
right.
deal that Disney got back in '64.
Since it's been a little bit since Scott's been here. Scott, what is your favorite piece of property that you own?
Favorite piece of property that I own?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh gosh, probably the one that I live on.
Do you have multiple pieces?
No,
of
I
property?
don't. That's the bit.
Well,
But,
no,
you know-
no. Property, just something that you own. It doesn't have to be a house.
Like a so,
Like
okay.
life, liberty, and
my-
property.
My favorite piece of property is probably my Shaquille O'Neal shoe. So I have a
You got a foot
shoe.
fetish?
I have a game shoe worn by Shaquille O'Neal, and it's
Oh man,
I mean,
it
it's
kind of
huge.
sounds like you
It's-
got a thing for feet.
Well, I have a thing for
Sounds like
Shaq's
it.
shoe. No, feet are gross. I hate feet, to be honest with you,
Why would you get someone's shoe?
because it's Shaq's and it's like as big as
Does
a
it
house.
smell like Shaq?
No, I don't know what Shaq smells like. I mean, it smells like an old shoe.
It's game worn, right?
Game worn when he played for the Magic. Yeah, so it's like
So was it the 2025 playoffs?
n-
Got him.
game worn.
We can't talk about the playoffs.
I know,
Nice.
as of Boston guys, we can, yeah.
I'm sure ChatGPT could tell us.
This is true. Do you
I
think
just don't know how to
ChatGPT knows
upload all
what
the
Remy's
data.
roundtable is? If someone goes into ChatGPT and is like, "What is Remy's roundtable?"
Let's see.
Oh wait,
let's
yes,
see.
it does. It does because I've done that before, and it knows what it is. ChatGPT basically knows what anything is now.
Doesn't know what Parents Night Out or No New Friends is.
No, into the Disneyverse.
It might into the Disneyverse.
All right, so here's what ChatGPT has to say about Remy's Roundtable.
Okay.
Remy's Roundtable is a podcast primarily focused on all things related to Walt Disney World and the greater Central Florida area.
Pretty
Hosted by
accurate.
Remy and his team. The show discusses Walt Disney World news and updates, theme park tips and tricks, pop culture topics, Orlando area events and happenings. The podcast often features guest interviews, including theme park enthusiasts, cast members, and local personalities. While Disney is the central focus, they occasionally
Did they just call out me? Theme
Well,
park
yeah.
enthusiast?
And you, Scott.
While Disney is the central focus, they occasionally branch out into Universal Orlando topics, trivia games, and nostalgic discussions. The
That
tone
is
is usually
so accurate.
casual
So
and
accurate.
conversational, aiming to entertain both diehard Disney fans and local Florida listeners. Let me know if you'd like a comparison between this and another podcast if you're curious about a specific episode or host.
Can you compare
which-
Remy's roundtable to Disneyverse?
Host lasted the longest on Remy's Roundtable.
I don't know that ChatGPT will know that.
It should.
If it doesn't, I do. It's Remy.
And yeah.
Okay, so it is Remy. So response one, the longest serving host on Remy's Roundtable is Remy, the show's creator and namesake. He launched the podcast on April 15th, 2019, and remained at Central Voice ever since.
Dude.
Among the
Wait,
co-hosts,
April? Why are we celebrating the anniversary in October every year?
he launched the podcast in October 15th, 2019.
Oh, I thought you said April.
Wait,
I
you
misheard.
said April.
No, but we did celebrate it in April, but October, it says
Oh.
October 15th.
Okay.
Among the co-hosts, Jennifer Archer, Remy's wife, has been a consistent presence. Her contributors have been invaluable in contributions have been invaluable in making the show a success. Other co-hosts include Mark McKay, a Florida-based comedian and former Disney
Yes,
Imagineer.
sir.
Mike and Nicole each bring their unique perspectives to the show. While specific tenure details for each co-host aren't publicly documented, Remy stands out as the longest running and most consistent host of the podcast.
Can you look up what it says about Big Beautiful Diz?
I will. I'm going to ask it.
Now.
I'm going to ask all sorts
curious.
of things. What is Big Beautiful? This is a fun little bit.
It's like not going to be accurate at all. It's going to be dead wrong.
It was very accurate about the roundtable.
DIS, yep.
Here we go. Big Beautiful Diz is a content creation platform dedicated to celebrating past, present, and future of theme parks, with a particular emphasis on Disney. The platform is spearheaded by Dana T, who produces
I know why that is.
Variety of content, including videos, documentaries, and podcasts that delve into the rich history and cultural impact of Disney parks and related topics. One of the notable projects by Big Beautiful Diz is a fan-made documentary, Beyond the Glass, the WDW Animation Building, which explores the history of Walt Disney Feature Animation Florida Studio. This studio was instrumental in producing several acclaimed Disney films such as Aladdin, The Lion King, Mulan, and Lilo and Stitch. The documentary features interviews with executives and animators providing insights into the creative process and experiences within the studio, often referred to as the fishbowl.
Clearly, this is the only video ChatGPT has watched.
Design. Big Beautiful Diz maintains an active presence on various platforms, including a YouTube channel where Dana T shares content related to theme parks and Disney history. Additionally, the platform engages with audience through social media, offering a space for fans and enthusiasts to connect and share their passions for Disney and theme parks. For those interested in exploring the rich tapestry of Disney theme park history and culture, Big Beautiful Diz offers a unique, in-depth perspective through its diverse content offerings.
Dude, that is scary. That is. I know why it says Dana T. I was on what's that show called? It's like a big animation show. With
Phineas and Ferb?
No, it's like it's a podcast and I forget what it's called. They have a really large following and I was on it and
Studio 21?
No. Aljon is one of the hosts. I forget the other guy's name.
Skull Rock?
Skull Rock. Yeah, I was on there and in the description they misspelled my name. So that's why it says that.
All right, here we go. Cases of Continuity is a podcast hosted by Ryan McGuire that delves into the intricate webs of continuity within film, television, and book series. Each season is dedicated to a specific franchise, examining the history, connections, and evolution of its individual components. The show explores how each installment contributes to the overarching narrative, assessing their quality, patterns, and lasting impact. For instance, one season, the only season, focuses on the James Bond film series, analyzing each movie's role in the franchise's development. Episodes like Octopussy, James Bond.
Why'd they choose that one?
I don't know. James Bond episode 13 provides insights into the film's reception and its place within the Bond canon. Cases of Continuity is available on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, making it accessible for listeners interested in deep dives into their favorite franchises. If you're curious about a particular season or episode, feel free to ask.
Well, that was as dry as it was accurate, which also applies to cases of continuity.
All right.
Remy, why'd you put the
searching.
Orlando Weekly link in the voting is
Well, that's
the
because cases of continuity were in the not cases of continuity. Creators United. We're hoping.
Into the Disneyverse is a podcast that delves into Disney history and culture, hosted by Alex, Chris, Ryan, and Mags. The show explores various Disney topics, including movies, park attractions, restaurants, and characters. Each episode offers a rich history on the subject, complemented by the host's unique perspectives and opinions. The podcast is known for its engaging discussions and occasional quizzes that test the host's Disney knowledge. For more information, including episodes, social media links, and merchandise, you can visit their Linktree page, and there's a link.
There we go.
Scary, man. It's incredible how far this AI has come.
I first wanted to search No New Friends podcast because that's been around longer, and then I'll search Parents Night Out. No New Friends podcast is a comedy podcast based in Winter Garden, Florida, that offers a humorous take on the challenges of adulting, described as the comedy podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The show features a rotating panel of hosts who share personal stories, discuss pop culture, and engage in lighthearted banter. This is pulled from the website. Hosts: Scott Maffei, the main host and founder of the podcast. Chris, known as the scumbag reselling hoarder, he brings a unique perspective to the show. Sarah, dubbed everyone's favorite food truck critic, she adds culinary insights and humor. Nick, referred to as our emotional support gay, he provides heartfelt commentary and travel expertise from Sandpiper Vacations. The podcast releases new episodes every Sunday and Wednesday. Oh, this is pulling from when we did After Dark, covering a range of topics, including parenting, theme parks, strange news, and everyday life experiences. For example,
strange news.
Strange news.
That's a term I haven't heard in a long time.
For example, in episode 275, titled 13 Ejaculations Away from Safety, the host discussed...
Why did you pull that one?
That's the most recent one. The host discussed Mother's Day experiences, vasectomies, hospital bills, and more. The recognition. The podcast has been recognized in several... Oh, and there's a link to the episode. That's cool. Several local competitions. Finalist in Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition in 2021. Voted number 3 podcast in Orlando 2023. Finalist in Mainline Marketing's Florida's Finest podcast competition. And then it shows where to listen, a link to the website.
I'm really hoping that Creators United was able to get on Best of Orlando.
We'll look in a second.
I voted for that.
Well, I don't think they've published the list yet.
They haven't
not,
yet, but
June 2nd.
I voted every day, and I had my friends vote.
I didn't know you could vote every day.
Nominate. Yeah, you can nominate like every day.
Oh, well, I would have done that if I know.
I thought it'd be fun to do a tier maker. We haven't done one of those in a long time, or ever on this show. It's been a very long time. I don't even remember if we did one or not. So let's I'll put this on the screen here for both YouTube and live on Twitch. So here we go. This is gonna be ranking some Muppets today. So it's gonna be
how many of them are we gonna be casting in Back to the Future?
None of them, maybe.
Wasn't that a Scott segment at one point?
Probably.
Probably. So I'll put this up on the screen. Gentlemen, you don't need to see this in real time, so I'm not going to share my screen on Zoom, but you can see it up on the screen there on the stream. So
yep.
So we got some Muppets characters here. Starting off with the Muppets Newsflash news anchor. Where does he rank? S, A, B, C, D. What do you think, gentlemen?
I like him. I would go A personally.
You going A? What about you, Scott?
He's the one that like gets rained on and they throw stuff at him and stuff.
Yeah, it's Muppets News Flash.
I'll go A.
You're going A? All right, we'll put him in A then. This one right here, his name is Johnny Flama. He's from Muppets Tonight, the 90s reboot of the Muppet Show. He also has a monkey friend right here. I don't know the monkey's name.
I think that's what Scott
Spank the monkey.
Spank the monkey. Okay, that's his name. That's his name from now on. So Johnny Flama, he I don't know if any of you are familiar with him, but he's got a nice little suit on.
I'm going to see.
He's a crooner. He sings
I'll
in the
also go
style
see.
of entertainers like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and of course Tony Bennett.
He's like Robert Goulet.
Yeah. You're going
Who?
to
Robert Goulet.
Who the heck is that?
You know who Robert? Have you ever seen Beetlejuice?
The first one, yeah, a while ago.
He's the dinner guest with the mustache. He's also in Naked
Ah.
Gun 33 and a third, I believe.
33 and a third. They made that many Naked Guns?
There's
How many
a fourth
guns
one
do I
coming
have to
out.
get nude for that?
Yeah, right? There's a fourth one coming out.
How are you gonna make a fourth one with
excited
no
for
Leslie
that.
Nielsen?
It's Liam Neeson as Leslie Nielsen's son.
Yeah. Looks pretty good.
Wow. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I would agree,
The
though, C tier.
trailer, the trailer is fantastic, especially at the end.
Yeah.
You've got Liam Neeson looking at Lieutenant Frank Drebin, his father. It says, "Dad, I miss you." And then it's got another guy looking at the other chief, going, "Dad, I miss you." And then there's this black dude looking at OJ, and he just looks at the camera and is like,
Oh, I did see that. I did see that.
"All right, so the crooner, I'm giving a C."
Yeah, Johnny Flama.
I would agree.
We
I would
giving him a
agree.
C? Okay, I would agree on that. He has a good voice though. You should check him out. Okay, next one. Gonzo's Landlord from Gonzo
What?
Presents Muppet Weird Stuff.
D.
This is
Oh,
a
D. Who?
this is a this is a series of shorts on a VHS. It was released by Playhouse Video in 1985, and it features songs and sketches from the Muppet Show. He is an off-screen character, and he comes around to collect the rent from Gonzo.
They couldn't even be bothered to make the Muppet. Yeah,
what
that's
are we
a D.
doing here?
You're going D on this one? Okay. All right. Next one we got
S.
Waldorf's wife,
S.
Astoria.
S.
What?
I don't even know
No.
who Waldorf's wife is, but Waldorf and Statler and anybody in their family tree, S for me.
This is a good point, but this is not going to be my number one looking at the list. There's one that I think is better.
Waldorf's wife. Her name is Astoria. She was on episode
All named after hotels, by the
413
way.
on
true.
in the Muppet Show, and it's
Wait, that's Waldorf's wife,
yeah.
and her name's Astoria. Waldorf Astoria. I love
Yep.
this.
Yep.
I love this.
So-
And you know
So-
what Statler's wife's name was?
No, I don't.
I don't remember.
Brothers. The Statler brothers. You know, they did Flowers on the Wall.
So she looks just like Statler in drag, but is a completely different character. This is in canon. This is a different Muppet character.
That's great.
So in
S for
theory,
me.
his
Alright, S
best
it
friend
is.
looks exactly like his wife. So S it is. Okay. Next, the monsters from the Saturday Night Live.
I have to go a D. This was I started watching season 1 of Saturday Night Live,
Right.
and this was the dumbest
Yeah.
sketch.
It's
And like, there's a
not-
lot of
The
bad
Land of
sketches in season
Gorge.
1. This was the worst that I started having to fast forward it. It was so bad.
It was so bad that he got bullied on the set, and
Yeah, it was
and so bad that he
awful.
left. Yeah, it's not very good. Not very good.
But you know who's even worse? Or even worse, the next
Even
one.
worse.
Yeah.
Waldo from Muppet Vision 3D.
Horrible.
Not
Horrible.
a fan.
Character.
Not
Not
a
a
fan.
fan
Awful.
either.
So annoying.
Not a fan either. Okay. Muppet Gary from Muppets
No,
2011.
he's number one. He takes the place, in my opinion. He's number
Yeah.
one S tier right now.
Yeah, this is an easy yes for me. What about you?
For
Scott?
me, it's an A, but I will. You guys won it with the 2 S's,
Yeah,
so
this
that's
is
fine.
easy number 1S for Muppet Gary.
I mean, it's so funny. Like, can you imagine How I Met Your Mother with Muppets?
That
That's true.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah. He Jason Segel has the puppet, has the Muppet.
That's a little bit scary.
Like he
Yeah,
has possession
mhm.
of this now. It was
It
actually
possessed him?
he actually
Is that
it
his
was
top
stolen.
possession? Possession! We
Probably.
figured it out. Possession!
Oh, that No, it was properties. It was
Oh,
properties.
shoot.
Properties.
Shoot.
If it was possessions.
Scott, what is your favorite possession?
My Shaquille O'Neal game worn shoe.
if there was if there was if the Shaquille O'Neal shoe was struck down in a supervillain attack, which MCU character eyes would you hope to catch?
Black Widow. It's always Black Widow.
It's always Black Widow. I agree. Okay, next one, Gary Cahuenga.
No, D. Low.
D.
He's right before Waldo, but that's terrifying.
I'm going C with Gary Cahuenga. You know? Do you guys know the lore behind Gary Cahuenga?
No idea.
Okay, so Gary Cahuenga he was on the Muppets Tonight, the '90s reboot of the Muppet Show. He's stuck in the 1950s. He's been in a crate for 40 years and then is unearthed in this episode with who was the special guest on that episode? There was a special guest and he wants to Prince was on that episode and he wants to perform with Prince, but Prince doesn't allow him to. Here he is. Here he is with Prince. And
You
Prince
know that
doesn't.
Prince is from Minneapolis?
I do. So Prince doesn't allow Gary Cahuenga to perform with him, and Gary Cahuenga's like, "There's no purpose in my life. Like, if I'm not a performer, like I'm nothing." And it's a pretty thought-provoking episode where, like, yeah, if a Muppet if the Muppet is not a performer, there's really no point to their life. It's kind of sad if you really think about it. But I guess I'm going D on Gary. I'm going top D with Gary Cahuenga on this one, just because I love him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the host of Muppets Tonight. His name is what's his name? Clifford.
The question is, why is Kermit not the host of Muppets Tonight?
Right?
I don't know. I don't really know.
And
I think they were
just
trying to go
for
into
that.
Clifford's cool though. He has the shades. He's voiced by the same guy who voices Elmo, I think.
Gotta be
Frank
second to
Oz.
last D for me. He stole Kermit's spot. What can I say?
Kermit's still in Muppets Tonight though.
He's not the host.
Muppets
Yeah, he's not
Tonight
the
is the
host.
spin-off.
Yeah, it was the '90s reboot. Go
I'll
back
go
and watch
C.
the Muppets Tonight, man.
I will
mean,
say C just because he looks kind of cool.
I'm going C as well because he's cool. He's a cool host. He's got the shades. He has a really cool voice.
You got Blackjack next?
Yeah,
Jack
we got
Black next?
we got Jack Black, specifically his character in Muppets 2011, when he's a guest host on the or a guest on the Muppets
I'm gonna put him-
telethon.
Yeah. I'm gonna say S tier.
No, he's
I'm
not even a
going-
Muppet.
No,
He was
a
like he was
man.
Steve from Minecraft, dude. Chicken jockey.
Different
he
universe.
plays a great part, but I'm not putting him in the same tier as a story.
I would put
and
him
Gary Muppet.
B. I would give him
I was
B.
thinking the same thing, dude. Because
because he is
in the
cool. It's
barber-
Jack Black.
right, and in the barbershop quartet scene, he doesn't fuck with it. And look, the cover that they do of Smells Like Teen Spirit is a banger.
Yeah, I
Like-
think he plays a really funny character in that movie.
Yeah.
I think it's but he's not a Muppet. I would give him
Right.
if he was a Muppet, S, but he's not a Muppet. He's a man.
Right. I agree. I'm going B. What do you think, Bags? What do you think?
All right,
he
I
said
can settle
S.
for B.
You
I would have
settled
preferred
for B.
S, but I can
Settle
settle for B.
Settle for B. This one might. I'm going A on Deadly here. Deadly's a great.
I would
character.
agree.
I don't even know
love
who he
Deadly.
is.
He's from.
You don't know Uncle Deadly?
He's from Muppets 2011 and Muppets Most Wanted, and then he was also, I think, he originated in Muppets Tonight, and then he just
I
disappeared.
think he was in the Muppet Show originally.
Well, yeah, it was Muppet Show. Yeah, because he disappeared for like 40 years and then came back, or like 50, and then came back in Muppets 2011.
On the like Studio 21 after they ended halfway through season 3.
So
And then they
you
just
wanna-
returned.
You guys want to give him an A?
I'm going A.
I
I'm
can
going
buy
A.
into that.
Have you never seen
Below the
Muppets
news reporter, though.
2011?
Is that's the movie with Jason Segel, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Segel, John
Jason.
Segel,
Jason.
Jason Segel. Jesus,
George.
Jason Segel, yeah.
She's a seagull? I like it.
Jesus.
with every J name. Yes, I did. He was one of the henchmen, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay,
New Zealand?
Boomerang fish guy. I forget his name.
New Zealand.
S.
New
Put some
Zealand.
respect on New Zealand's name. He's an
New
S
Zealand
tier.
is an
S.
S. New Zealand is an S.
3D fishies. I forgot which movie that was when he's throwing the 3D fishies.
Muppet Vision.
Yeah,
No.
I think
he
that's
is
Muppet. No?
He isn't. He's in Muppet. He's in Muppet Vision.
He
I don't
is,
know
but
if
that's
it's
not what it's from.
It might just be Muppet Show. I don't know if it's in a movie or not.
He was also in Muppets 12 Days of Christmas.
Right. Right.
He does, I think, 12 Lords of Leaping, I want to say. All right, who's the nerd
this
that we
is
got
the
up here?
last one. This is the intern in the ABC Muppets.
Oh
I
God,
think
the ABC
2016.
Muppets.
Dude,
Oh,
bro,
God.
don't tell me you don't fuck with the ABC Muppets.
That's not what the
2015
Muppets are supposed to be.
Nah. Dude, go back and watch 2015 ABC Muppets. It's an unbelievable show. It is so
Breaking Bad is an
funny.
unbelievable
First
show.
of all, it's the 3D fishies is in one of the Muppet movies. Not the recent Muppet movies. It's an older one because I remember this as a kid.
When your online dating profile says lonely bear looking for love, you get a lot of wrong responses. Not wrong, just wrong.
All right,
for
so
me.
what are we doing with Poindexter down here?
I forget it. I'm trying to remember his name.
Hey,
He's like
you
the
made this
IT
list and
guy.
You
He's
didn't
like the
do
IT
the research
guy.
and get the names.
Chip. His name is Chip. He's funny. He's a nerdy
He
technician.
looks funny.
He's not in that much of the ABC Muppets. He was also in the Jim Henson Hour in 1989. Apparently, I didn't know that.
I'll go C
put him.
tier.
I'll put him. Well, I was gonna say B, just because he looks like his funny would be really.
I can't
his
put
character
him.
would be really funny.
I can't. I can't put him above Johnny Flama though.
So maybe you move Johnny Flama to B tier, just below Jack Black.
No, but Johnny Flama would be. I'll put him here because he's behind Johnny Flama, and I'll put what's his name? Clifford. I'll put Clifford there. Gary Cohenga is number 1 in D easily. Waldo's the absolute last.
Waldo's horrible CGI.
Yeah.
Listen, I know people love Muppet Vision 3D because it was Jim Henson's last project. But if Jim Henson had lived a little bit longer and it made a better version of it, I would have enjoyed it more. Like, the idea is cool. It's cool. They're cool to have Statler and Waldorf in the balcony or whatever. It's cool to have Sweetums come out, but like the story is not there, and Waldo's just awful, and that brings
he's
down
the figment of that attraction.
The story is there. I disagree with that, but Waldo I can agree with.
It's not as good of a story as it could be, though.
There's too much going on. You got Waldo, and then you got Beans. Like, let's stick with the one topic. Let's stick with Beans. Beans is a good story. That's a great story.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's stick with one scene in Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. There's too much going on. Can't follow the story there.
There's no. The story is they're filming the stunts on the second unit.
Let me ask you this.
All right, the difference that I'll bring up to you here, though, Dane.
Muppet
Vision takes up a small plot of land, which is better. Stunt Show takes up way too much land. That's prime real estate.
Muppet Vision is always empty when I went there until they announced its closure. Since they've announced its closure, full show.
That is true because that always happens because people come out of the woodwork.
Of course.
People come out of the woodwork with like Tom Sawyer. I don't understand why people are so upset with the Tom Sawyer Island thing. It's like you don't go there.
Right.
If
Meanwhile,
I actually went last time I was there and I quite enjoyed it.
That does not shock me at all. You're a different breed. You've got
This is true.
Picture of the town hall in the weird
Chessie Town Hall.
Yes.
No, Chessie Town Hall, dude. Chessie Town Hall, it's my happy place.
Yes.
Like Detroit.
All I'm saying is that you want to bring up that let's stick with one thing. Show me a B unit that films multiple scenes a day, like stunts like that.
Oh,
it's one
my
stunt
God.
a day, man. If you want to be accurate, let's put Monday one stunt, one scene, Tuesday one scene, and then Wednesday another.
If you want to be accurate, we're not going on a Star Cruiser in a galaxy far, far away.
Yes, we are, man.
There is no Batu. Okay, this is a theme park attraction. Hey, spoiler alert. they're not even filming anything. Okay? It's just an attraction. It's the last remaining piece of movie making that park was based around.
They're not even making
So
a
it
movie.
sounds to me like it's time for a re-theme since the rest of the park's changing too.
No, it's no.
Echo Lake desperately needs an overhaul. Like, we need a ride in Epco Lake or something. Like,
A ride
tear
in
down
what
50s,
ride are you putting in Echo Lake?
tear down
20,000 leagues
50s
under the sea.
prime time.
Oh, I'm down
Tear
with that.
down the dinosaur thing. Tear down the Frozen sing-along. Tear down Indiana
Tear
Jones
down
Stunt
this
Spectacular.
wall.
And you know what? Give us a Frozen roller coaster.
Hell
I'm
no.
kidding. I'm
No.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that one. But just give
Here's
us
the thing.
something good.
Here's the thing. They're not going to get rid of Frozen Sing Along because it's a full show every time.
It doesn't take up much space.
The funny
And it's a
thing about
moneymaker too. I mean, like they sell quite a bit of merchandise in that show.
right, and it's
the
a
glow
people
stuff.
year. What's funny about your idea is that you're proposing a roller coaster. That's the last thing Hollywood Studios.
I will say that was a
Like-
joke.
Like
that was
Hollywood
a joke.
Studios needs way more shows, way more. It's way
I
more
hate shows.
way more like D and C ticket attractions. Because what do you
We need a
have
boat
that is a
ride.
D and C attraction? You need a boat ride. You need shows.
Mhm.
I'm not going to the vacation shorts. Like
No,
Correct.
pointless,
Correct.
pointless.
Waste of space. Same with the Pixar Film Festival in Epcot, the Imagination Pavilion. Waste of space.
Yeah,
And don't even get me started on Launch Bay.
oh God.
yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a great place for Monstropolis. They're not going to tear it down and build a ride because Indiana Jones gets people off of the streets for 20, 25 minutes. And again, it's a moneymaker because they do sell popcorn and drinks and they make some money.
Animal
Yep.
Kingdom's another park that desperately needs more attractions. Like, I
Yes.
don't understand why they're
Desperately.
tearing stuff and replacing stuff like Dinosaur when they desperately need to add things instead
Well,
of switching things
that's
out.
exactly what they're doing. They're adding attractions. I mean, they're just adding more because that's
No.
what.
They're replacing.
Correct.
Yeah, but they're also
they had 3,
they're
and they're going to
subs-
end up with in that area, what, 2 now?
they're yeah. Okay,
Lost
so
of 1.
yeah, but Primeval World had been closed for years. Primeval World has
Okay,
been closed
so-
since 2020. Before that, when did that close? 19? Or
Okay,
was
but
it
still
21?
okay. So you had the kiddie rides,
Right.
but you're not gaining. I guess
You're not gaining.
I guess you
anything.
could
They
say you're
definitely need
gaining
to
one.
add more. They definitely need to add more, but what's it called? Central America's land? That is definitely a step in the right direction. The one park that they don't need to add to that they are like got a hard on to add on for some reason is Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is the last park you need to be looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you have,
yes,
what,
I know.
25 rides there.
Yeah, like I know the last thing, especially expansion, because that's what they're going to be doing. But
I understand why Villains Land didn't go in Hollywood Studios. It makes so much more sense.
it makes more sense.
They don't have the room for something that big.
Right.
Really?
And I know
Yeah,
that the last big thing that you put in Magic Kingdom is 2012 Fantasyland. But at the same time, the Cars attraction is a good,
Yeah.
good
Here's
addition.
here's the
But the
thing.
expansion, no. You don't need an expansion.
Here's
to
what I'm
Magic Kingdom.
hoping. Here's what I'm hoping. Is it going to happen? No. But with these 2 expanded lands in Magic Kingdom, it would be good if they keep the park attendance capacities as they are now, because it'll thin out the crowds a little bit. And because you're using, especially for cars, you're using an area that was occupied by water and Tom Sawyer's Island, which nobody was going to. And now you have attractions that will put people on this land. It's usable land now.
Right.
And can thin out the crowds a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
now it's easier to get on Haunted Mansion because of these 2 new areas. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
especially
easier to get
since
on
it's-
Peter Pan.
Yeah, especially because it's obviously right there as well.
Right.
And the thing with Animal Kingdom is they're almost landlocked with Animal
I
Kingdom.
disagree. There's
It's-
you and I
there's
looked at
so-
the maps. There's some land.
There is land around it that is being used for stuff backstage that they can't get rid of, stuff for animals. You know, the only thing that they could close is
There was one
Rafiki's
area that
Planet
looked like a
Watch, but then
dump.
not demolish it. To me, the move is you close Rafiki's Planet Watch, you don't demolish the building, you get rid of that stupid railroad, and you put something there instead.
So, Dane, you're telling me that this stuff right over here can't be moved?
Where is that?
Animal Kingdom.
Zoom
Well,
out.
Scott, that's
Where
where
is
the
that
animals live.
behind?
There's like some ants that live back there. You
So
can't displace them.
that is.
Here's hold on. Here's Rafiki.
Mhm.
Right over here or whatever.
Right. So you can't touch Rafiki's.
I'm not saying. Okay, look at all of this trash.
Right.
You can't get rid of this stuff. Clean up this area. Move some of these research labs. Like maybe consolidate these things to one side.
That's right behind Maharaja, though. Where are you putting the tigers? Where do the tigers go?
Tigers can stay right there.
No, they can't. What are you talking about?
Get
They have
halfway
to go
behind
back and
Everest.
sleep.
The tigers go in this area with all the trash.
They go where those buildings are. Those are animal enclosures for when
These
they're not...
are animal enclosures, so they're walking them just
the permanent
down the
buildings.
pathway.
Yes, the permanent buildings are literally animal enclosures. They're right.
These
the
are
ones that are connected to Maharaja, man.
These are animal enclosures right here.
Not those, but the other
Looks like a
buildings
shed.
Okay, right. What about all this trash? These are rooftop AC units just sitting in a field.
I don't
Clean
know
up
what
this-
I have no clue what those are.
I'm
but
not
the
saying
ones
get rid
that
of this
connected to that.
stuff.
Yes.
I'm not saying get rid of this stuff. I'm saying look at all of this space over here.
Well, that's where the railroad is. So yes, get rid of all that stuff.
The railroad's over here.
But like the
This
trees
space
block
right here.
the trees block the railroad.
Then
The
leave the
railroad is
trees.
in between.
Leave the trees.
Leave the trees. I'm talking get rid of the whole railroad and then also those like
Great. It gives you
area
even more
right
room.
there.
Look,
Yeah.
you're right. Get rid of the whole railroad and move these sheds over here.
Done.
Done.
But you can't get rid of the permanent structures.
The what permanent I'm not
The
what
one
you
that are
talking about?
connected to the ones that are connected to
I'm not
Maharaj.
talking about getting
Those.
rid of this stuff.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I know.
Is this right across? This is zoom out for a minute. More.
Here's Kali River Rapids right here.
Right. Get rid
Here's
of Kali
Everest.
too. Retheme that.
Again, they can't get rid of attractions.
You can't get rid. Well, you could get rid of that one and put something better in there.
Retheme it. Yeah.
All right.
What is Savor the Savannah?
Savor the
Who the
Savannah
hell is Savannah?
It's the Outlook state. It's like you ever see on Kilimanjaro they look like decks, and people can go out and take pictures. It's part. I think it's part of the backstage tour.
All right.
Okay,
take a
so
look at
you know
this.
where I'm going. Number one, get
Do
rid of
something
fucking
here.
wonders.
Do something here.
The Play Pavilion's garbage. Garbage idea.
The
All right,
Play
so-
Pavilion, I've heard they're remixing that idea.
Let's talk
Good.
about
It
where
looks
there's
horrible.
Let's talk about where there's space here at
Right, there's
Epcot.
The
space
Odyssey
behind-
restaurant.
They use that.
They do use that. So
That makes a lot of money during festivals, so they're not touching that.
like move these sheds over here.
Right. They
And
have a
then
lot.
Get rid of the parking lot.
They
They
could
have a
expand
lot
China
of room
easy.
for behind Germany. That they heard the whole show
Nothing.
building,
Nothing. Obviously, it already has Frozen. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
China. Already
China
has
could
an
easily be
attraction.
expanded if it needed to be, though. Like
China's
Mulan, that'd be cool.
huge. China's huge,
China,
and it already has an attraction.
yeah, China has the movies, and they're
Okay.
putting a new movie in. So they're not
Here's
gonna
something
do
that's
that.
very
Someday.
confusing. Look at all of this space right
That-
back here
Yeah.
behind the
That
outpost.
was
What
where,
is that?
That was where Equatorial Africa is supposed to be. That's the outpost, and that is also where the barges are held for the nighttime show.
Not here, right
Um,
here.
Nope.
The
Plant some
construction-
trees.
The construction at the time, that's 2019 because the Illuminations barge is still there. So I'm trying to think what's there now because
Germany's got
construction
so
is
much space
obviously-
back
There's
there.
still boat stuff over here because you've got the transportation boats over here.
right, the friendship boats.
It's still
over there.
storage, but look,
What
a
is
tree
construct-
wall over.
what
You
did
put a
they
tree
build
wall over
there?
here, or it's an indoor pavilion. You could do stuff over here. So that's the space in
Right.
between.
next to and then there's another space next to Germany that they can use. So
And
Africa
Italy,
was
for
supposed
that
to be
matter.
there, and then I think Spain was supposed to be in between
Yeah.
Italy and
So a lot of room between Germany and Italy.
mhm.
To the point where
There's
you
a
could
ton of
almost
space.
look, you could almost, instead of putting another country here,
One show building.
you could put a show building for
They already
either
have a journey.
Two
a
attractions.
journey
for Italy. Because look,
Oh, for
Germany already
Italy.
has this. Look at Germany's show building.
Grew.
But
Built for
Italy's
the original Rhine River boat ride.
Right.
Italy's easy though because it was supposed to have a gondola boat ride. So you just
So-
that's the concept,
Show building right here.
right?
Epcot has too many boat rides. That's my issue.
There's not much room over here. You
Yeah.
can't really do anything in between U.S.
If you
and
really
Italy.
if you wanted
Except
to, you could.
you could
That
expand
is
Italy.
a huge show building for a boat ride. You could put something else in there. For
That is not a very big building for a show ride, for a boat
it's
ride.
tall. It's tall.
It'd have to be a tall. It'd
Be a
have to be
sli-
tall, but
It doesn't have to be a boat ride necessarily. It could just be
Yeah.
a dark ride.
or it could
America's
be
fine.
Q for the dark ride here.
Mhm.
Right.
America's fine, obviously.
Japan
Look at
needs
all
something.
of this room
Japan is
in
a
Japan.
huge shop.
So that's exactly
Get
what
rid of
that is.
half of that.
That's the engineering shop.
Right. And that's also where the mountain roller coaster was supposed to be.
But
Oh,
again,
I still wish we got that.
Look at all this area here. So
Mhm,
maybe
that
you
was
can't.
supposed to be another country.
Maybe you can't put a country here. Maybe you move this shop over here and you get a ride here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right,
Well, yeah, because
UK
here's-
desperately needs something, and it's got so much room.
Where are you putting anything in the UK?
Well, get rid
unless
of the big.
unless if you get rid of the giant pavilion that's there.
Yeah,
Okay, so this gets used for events. It's massive.
Yeah, and it's a huge
Mhm.
moneymaker.
You could
so I
get
don't
rid
think
of
they're
half
touching
of that.
anywhere.
No, it does make a lot of money.
They're not laying a
But
finger.
There
on
is
that.
some room.
Well, then what about that green area back past there?
Backstage. They're not
Get rid of
touching
some of that.
anything backstage.
Yeah.
The stuff that you see way backstage, they're not doing
So
anything.
where was Mary Poppins gonna go?
Mary Poppins, I think that's a good question.
Is this,
zoom in on
is
the
this where Mary
UKs.
Poppins was gonna go?
No, they never started construction. That's the Skyliner.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
that's
good point.
outside of the park. Mary Poppins, they might have taken out the garden and where those trees are, knocked them down.
That'd be a small queue building and show building.
It was a carousel. It wasn't supposed to have
Oh.
a giant building.
Okay,
It was literally like King Arthur carousel.
that's lame.
Still, so teacups was what it was.
Oh, yeah, that yeah.
But
So
I
it
don't know.
was
There's
not a-
also the
it was-
trees
it
on the
wouldn't
other
even
side
have
there.
a-
The trees near Canada.
It wouldn't even have a show building. Canada, you're
Well,
not.
you've
What are they
got-
putting in Canada? They just put far
So-
and wide there.
Right here,
Oh, is that a pathway?
That's a pathway.
it doesn't get you out to the park, but it's a. Actually, it looks like it's an
Yeah, it's a
infrastructure.
It's a pathway. It leads you up to the pavilion.
Area directly to the side.
and then
of
there's
it. I
a
don't know, you could
gate
add
there.
something.
There is a gate there.
And where are you adding stuff, Max?
All right, Canada.
Yeah.
You
opinion
already
here?
have Canada far and wide.
Get rid of the show. Use that building and build within some of the trees along the side of it and make a Canadian raft ride. Starting in the
Bro.
rocks, you can use the current rocks as a part of
No.
a queue.
No.
Like Holly River Rapids.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Look at this.
This that
Big waste of
Monstrosity.
space.
that
Knock down part of the whatchamacallit, the Disney Pixar Film Festival, and that gives you some space as well to work with in Canada.
knock down the Pixar the theater for no.
It does
Yes.
get Mags is onto
Never-
something here.
Never
Okay,
in a million
thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Hold on. So this is part of your queue building.
right?
Into here.
Part of the queue's outside too in the current rocks.
into here. Yep. Queue here,
Right.
then into here, then over here, and then here's your show building for Canada.
Okay, so
Mhm.
let me ask you this. What are they gonna put how are they gonna hide a show building that is in the park like that? That is in that guests could get
What
to.
they do to
Where-
Soren, they
what's-
painted it blue.
but where's the backstage area? The Soren building, all of it is backstage. That would literally like the backstage door would be in guest view. People could just walk in.
No,
No, what are you talking about?
Why would they
they hide it.
you knock down
Oh,
that
I see what you're
theater,
saying,
right?
because this
That's
would end
just
up being
in
the
guest
show.
area.
You're right, because it goes this way. Okay, then fine. Go
Well, then
this
do a
way.
meet and greet in front of it.
I don't know. I don't know
In
what to tell
fro-
you.
But there's a whole
I
building
get
there
what you're
that's just,
saying,
what,
Dane.
an
I get what you're
Instagram
saying.
wall?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like the show buildings have to be backstage. There's no way that they can be just.
I get
in
where
the
I
park
get I
area
get where
like
you're
that.
going.
Yeah.
We'll just get rid of imagination at that point.
Never in a million years would they ever do that. They would get rid of their current attraction, but they would never get rid of those pyramids. The land is fine. You don't need
Living
to
with
touch
the land is fine.
and you
Nemo's
can't
fine.
touch any of that. Nemo needs to go.
Nemo's fine.
The Nemo theming needs to get out of here.
No,
I think it's
love
still
it.
pretty popular. Yeah.
It has a 5-minute wait every time I'm there.
It
So
was
it's an omnimover.
25 today. It was 25 today.
It was 25. Okay, that's the highest I've heard it ever being. So
But it's all of the Future World things are busier in the morning.
okay.
There is a good amount of land back here.
Well, that's where they built the show building.
That's out of the
No,
park.
this is the show building.
Oh, I see.
No, I know, Dane.
What are you putting back there?
I think the Future World part, in my opinion, doesn't need anything. It's World Showcase that needs stuff.
I agree, but also,
Wonders.
yeah, you've got on this side over here. So, okay, you've got Test Track, nobody rides Mission Space, and you got Guardians. These two right here, let's combine that, and you could put another huge show building here. Or use one of them as a queue, one of them as a show building.
What, Mission Space and Wonders building?
Yes. The problem is Space 220.
Yeah, Space 220 is in between, Test Track.
Well, Space 220 is a problem for a lot of reasons. Let's be real.
Is this Space 220 right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So this is where the attraction dumps over here into, make it a space type. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do. But
It'd be cool if they brought Wonders of Life back to the original theming of Wonders of Life. Some kind of like human body type attraction. Dane, what's coming up on Big Beautiful Diz?
I guess we could get a little topic reveal. This will be out on Saturday. Not this episode. This will be out maybe Tuesday or so. And Wednesday, because Disney first comes out. Wednesday, this will be out. So on Saturday on the main channel, I'm doing a video about a theme park that used to be in Japan. It's called Nara Dreamland. And what it basically is a Disneyland knockoff with all copyright-free imaging, except it was a 1-to-1 scale recreation of Disneyland, just made very cheaply. And it closed in 2006, and they left it there for 10 years.
I can't wait to see that episode.
So
Did you explore it? Urban exploring?
I went to Japan now. No, it's in Nara. It was in Nara, Japan. And it's not there anymore. They demolished it now, but yeah, they left it abandoned for a long time. So
Sounds cool. Looking forward to checking out that video. Scott, what's coming out on Parents' Night Out with the No New Friends?
I have no idea. We just fly by the seat of our pants and we talk about whatever. I know we're going to talk a little bit about this Mexican naval ship that hit the Brooklyn Bridge, and then I know Miranda's got some updates on her husband's health after his vasectomy. So we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Over on Into the Disneyverse, we're celebrating our 50th episode. So what we did was we were doing part 1 of the building and opening of Disneyland, which was super fun. And then we played a game where I gave the guys a bunch of clips and songs and jokes that we've had over our first 50 episodes, and they had to see how much they remembered. It was a super, super fun game.
Oh, that's cool.
And it really came down to the wire. So it was a neat way to celebrate 50 whole episodes of Into the Disneyverse, which was kind of cool.
That.
Thank you. Well, that is all from us on behalf of Scott and Dane. My name is Mags, and Scott, we love you.
We love you, Scott.
Love you guys.